What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. And before we get into talking about this monster, the first thing I want to address is the fact that I just haven't been posting up videos. The reason being is I just thought I'd try something different, try doing daily live streams, and I actually really liked all the feedback that I was getting. A lot of people seemed to like it, but what I noticed was my views were going down. I noticed that there were a lot less views on the channel for Marvel Future Fight, and I believe it's because videos just are a lot better for a lot of other people. You know, people live in different time zones. They can't watch live streams when it's live, when it's really the most beneficial for them. I mean, it still might help them later on, but when you're able to interact with me and able to talk to me and ask me for certain testing or maybe look at your roster, it's just a lot better for most players versus a video when I just focus on one certain topic. That's another thing about live stream is I'm kind of like doing multiple different things, talking about multiple different things, which is good and it's kind of bad, versus a video where you're just focusing on one thing, which today is going to be Null. So I'm going to start posting up videos every single day for Marvel Future Fight again like I used to, and I'm just going to try to get in live streams as much as I can like I used to. And now let's dive into this freaking monster. So I finally got Null to level 60. I got him mastered up. Those of you that have been watching the recent live streams, you know that I got him leveled up. And you also got to see what kind of monster he was just today in the previous live stream that I did. And this guy scored 4 million in ABX, but I actually did another run with him and I was actually able to score more. But not only are we going to do that, we're also going to do a world boss run just to show how strong he is. And I want you all to check out this build and let's talk about this guy. So he is almost 40,000 physical attack. I do have 55% physical attack on my cards. We have max attack speed. We have 34 crit rate, which will get bumped up from his 5th skill, I believe. He has 175 critical damage, so non-max critical damage, and he has 47% ignore defense. And this does hurt his damage a little bit. The critical damage definitely hurts his damage, and he has max skill cooldown. He has no Urus. Level 60 is tier 3 and all level 20 gears. And, you know, the tier 3 does look lackluster with a 30% increase of all attack. But I can tell you, this thing does a lot of damage. Not at the very beginning, but once the ball of symbiotes is all clashing, then he just does insane damage. Especially when you combine it with the 4 and the 2 skill. It is godly. The penetration is nice. I don't know how well he's going to be in PvP because I haven't tested it yet. But the 3 seconds of paralysis is really, really freaking sweet. Because it gives you a form of crowd control. And then his passive is freaking insane. The increased chain hit damage by 20% when attacking. And I definitely want to test this guy with the CTP of energy to stack that chain hit damage on the CTP of energy's chain hit, because I actually think this guy would be really good with a proc. Definitely not as good with a rage. His skills will proc your regular proc early sometimes, and that does hurt your damage. But the thing about Null is, unless you're trying to be optimal with him, maybe an ABX, in World Boss, he's just going to slaughter. He's just going to murder because of this increased additional pierce damage by 5%, which pretty much ignores all of the boss's defenses. It doesn't matter if it's Thanos. It doesn't matter if it's Null himself, which I can't play it yet because he isn't at level 70. But he is an absolute monster without any all defense down. It is absolutely crazy. And then he gets to decrease all damage received by 35%. And then he has this nice remove all debuff for 12 seconds on a 20-second cooldown. And that's really helpful for whenever he does get debuffed, he'll actually debuff that. So if Thanos throws the blue balls out at you, he'll debuff that. And then it's 1 second gives a stun. The 2 skill gives a nice paralysis. And then this is the skill that does insane damage. It has the incapacitation, which is going to be really good for PvP. But in PvE, the continuous attack is actually quite sweet. And the 3rd skill gives him paralysis, which I do use, but I don't really use it as far as landing a proc. It is a ignore targeting skill, so it does ignore iframe, but I'm not going to use it at all in these runs because I really don't need to. This is really more of something that you would use in PvP, although there are situations where you would use, if you had a rage, that you would use it when bosses are in iframes, maybe in regular world bosses. And of course, you got the paralysis again. You have the super armor that lasts for 5 seconds, but this thing's on a 15-second cooldown, which does kind of suck. But there is no buffs on it, so you don't really have to worry about using it other than the fact that you're just trying to charge the tier 3. And then the 4th skill gives him this damage accumulation based on how much damage he deals, and it's a plus 1%. And it lasts for 12 seconds, which is insane. And then he has more paralysis. So he has a lot of CC, which really helps him in the world bosses, being that he doesn't need mind control strikers or any kind of CC control strikers because he has a lot of CC already in his kit. And then his fifth skill gives him a heal, which is nice, 6 seconds of invincibility, which gives him native super armor, and then he gives him all attack by 35% and the crit rate buff by 35%. So you only need 30% crit rate to max out his critical rate. This is on a 12-second cooldown. This lasts for 12 seconds and it's on an 9-second cooldown. So you'll always have this critical rate up and you'll always have this attack up, which is nuts. And then his passive gives him the guard break immunity, and then his crazy HP does not drop to 1 or below for 6 seconds, and then he gets a massive heal for 75% of max HP after 6 seconds. And it makes him pretty much almost unkillable. Now, if this does proc and you end up losing all of your life and you get down to low HP again, you're going to have to wait till this 120-second proc is finished, this 120-second cooldown is finished before this proc will enable again. So that's something to keep in mind. He can die, but he's a pretty tough bastard, to be perfectly honest. And then his leadership is amazing. He applies Symbiote Ally, 60% increase of all attack, which is great for Gwenum, great for Venom, and great for Carnage, and also just great for himself. It's nice seeing a self-buffing leadership. So in the run that you guys are going to watch, I'm not going to be playing optimally at all. I just started tinkering with him, and he could already do just insane stuff. Hitting over 4 million ABX, doing stage 99 against Proxima, which I'll show you both of those runs. But I'm going to be using the fifth skill and canceling it very quickly. Now, when you cancel the fifth skill, you don't get the attack buff. You get the invincibility right away, and that's very important because we want to land the proc on the second skill. Whenever he does the second skill, he just sits, look, he just sits in there stationary. He just sits there stationary, right? And he needs that invincibility so he doesn't get guard broken. At the moment you move him around, the symbiotes will disappear, so you're going to lose damage. So I'm hitting the 5 to get the invincibility. Now, if you want the attack buff, you got to let the 5 play out. So if you let the 5, he does a little explosion there, then you get the attack buff. However, that damn thing will trigger the proc a lot. So in the rotation that you're going to see me do, I just want to get the invincibility from the 4 or from the 5 so I don't get guard broken during this second skill. So I'm doing 5, 4, let the spawns come out, and then the dragons come out, and then go into the second skill. Let this play out during your proc, and then when there's 1 second left on your damage proc, then cancel into the 3 to get your paralyzed, and then go into the 1 really quick. Then you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to hit the 5, cancel in the 4, spawns come out, and then the 2. And you're going to do the same thing again. Then you're going to hit the 3 and then the 1. Now, you're going to see me in the runs that I did today. I'm going to be hitting the 5, and then I'm going to be hitting the 4 and the tier 3. You do not need to do that. The way that I'm playing, you don't need to hit the 5 before you do the tier 3. All I'm getting from the 5 is the invincibility. So really all you need to do is hit the 4 to get the spawns come out, and then hit the tier 3, and then once he does his slash, go into the second skill. So when you do the tier 3, he'll do his slash, and then you can go into the second skill. Now watch. We're getting the damage from the tier 3 and the second skill all at the same time. And if you involve the 4th skill, you're going to get the damage from the 4th skill, the second skill, and the tier 3 all at the same time. So I'm just going to go ahead and run through these skills again really quick. And the rotation you guys are going to see me do is it's going to be 5, 4, tier 3, 2. But really all you need to do is 4, tier 3, 2. When the tier 3 is up, just hit your 4, let the spawns come out, and then hit the tier 3 because it already has invincibility. You don't need to hit the invincibility from the 5th skill. So it'd be something like this. You'd hit the 4, spawns come out, and then once he slashes that sword down, go into the second skill. Now, if the proc triggers before he does that slash, don't cancel into the second skill. Just let it play out during your tier 3, because if you hit the second skill before he does the slash, like if I cancel this slash really quick, let's do this real quick. Okay. If I cancel it, see, and then I'll cancel it. And look, we do not get the damage from the tier 3. We're not getting that damage. So if the proc triggers on the tier 3, You run away and get rid of this. If the proc triggers on the tier 3, before he does the slash, go ahead and let this thing play out. This is where all your damage is out. And if you cancel that thing, you're going to lose a lot of damage. But the idea is to get the 4, the 2, and the tier 3 all combined. You all will see what I'm doing in the runs. Again, it won't be optimal. I'm not going to be using the attack buff on the 5th skill. Actually, in hindsight, I bet you money I could probably do even better. But again, it's just going to show how insane he is. Even when you're not playing him correctly, the damage is nuts. We have a fully awakened Power Bang Hawk set. This is the only thing that's really leveled up on him. You know, no Urus, level 60 character, level 20 gears. And then we have 120% proc. That's right, with a critical damage 35% up. 120% proc. So let's see what this guy can do. Let's jump into the action and let's rock and roll. So we're going to start with the ABX run that I did. We're using Phyla to bump up the attack to universal types. And then of course Valkyrie for the 50% damage to the supervillains. There you hear me hit the 5, cancel on the 4, let spawns come out and go in the 2nd skill. Proc triggers, I'm going to let that thing play completely out. And then I'm going to hit the 3 and then the 1. And then I hit the 4 and then the tier 3. And then I go into the 2. And look at this. Watch them damage numbers go up. 120% proc. No Urus. This is absolutely insane. And a level 60 character. Now in the live stream, I actually was able to hit 4 million. Now there you saw me hit that 5th skill. I didn't even need to do it. I didn't even need to hit that 5th skill. I should have just hit the 4 and then the tier 3. But it's a lesson learned, and the next time I do a video about this guy, I will be playing him better. But that's another reason why a rage is going to be better on this guy versus a proc, is that you can let the 5 explode, you can get the attack buffs, he's just going to be way stronger. Having 35% extra attack would make a massive difference. Having the proc that's actually from the rage would be massive. And look at the way his animations just engulf the screen. It is nuts. And there you see the proc triggered on the tier 3. I didn't hit the 2nd skill. That's something you got to keep an eye on when you're playing with Null. And I know a lot of people out there don't have him. And this isn't no ABX guy. This isn't the way that, you know, I'm telling you that you absolutely have to play him, because I know it's not quite correct. Because right there, I just hit the 5th skill to get the invincibility, but I didn't need it because I already had invincibility from my tier 3. But look at him go. Look at him go. I mean, we're almost at that 3 million mark before even the 1 minute mark. And the other thing that's really nice, especially in Paralyzed season, is he has Paralyzed on multiple skills. So it's really, really easy to cancel the Beast Roar with him. It's just nuts. Like, there's no forethought at all to what I'm doing as far as trying to cancel the Beast Roar. And I love looking at the dragons. So freaking cool. The Simian dragons are awesome. One thing about me hitting that 5th skill, if your tier 3 isn't up, if you do hit the 5th skill, your tier 3 isn't off cooldown, maybe when you hit the 5th skill, the charge will be full, your tier 3 will be ready, and then you can go on your 4 and your tier 3. In that respect, hitting the 5th skill before the tier 3 would be a good idea. So like right here, there we go. And look at that. Cancel the Beast Roar, no problem. Look at him go. Just murdering this crap. I got to tell y'all, Null, I mean, I know he's, 3,080 CCF. I know that he's extremely expensive, but I got to tell you all that I think he's well worth it. If you can do these kind of scores, look at this. With 120 proc, level 60 character, no Urus, and I have 55% physical attack. This is just bonkers. No character in the game can do this. No character in the game can do these kind of numbers with this kind of build. There is no freaking way. There's no freaking way, and it's thanks to that Pierce that he has from his passive. So let's jump into the world boss action. All right, let's get it done. Let's get it done. I am going to be using strikers, just strikers that do damage to super villains. Let's go. And you're going to see me hit that 5. And in the first rotation, you do want to cancel that 5 into the 4 into the 2 if you are playing with a proc. Or you could do the 4, get the spawns come out, and then hit the 5 and 2. You can do that too. That would work as well. And look, I got the tier 3 and the 2 combined, and look at this damage. Look at this. Look at this. Stage 99. Stage 99. No all defense down. 120 proc. I know I keep saying that, but this is just blowing my mind away. I honestly underestimated Knull a little bit. I did not think he would be this strong, because I've seen videos where he has Urus. I've seen videos where he has, 180 proc or better on him. But I haven't seen nothing like this. I haven't seen this. No Urus. Super low damage proc. I know he's not exactly the most free-to-play character. I mean, he is free-to-play, but he's not the most free-to-play friendly because of the cost of this guy. But I seriously would tell you all, this is a native tier 2 that is worth investing in. He is, especially for PvE content. I can't confirm anything for PvP, but for PvE, he is bonko. He is bonko, and I honestly think, he's probably going to be stronger than Loki on Universal Villain Day. I don't know that, but I would imagine so. Those kind of numbers with this kind of proc, we'll see, but he's just... I'm pretty much speechless. I'm pretty much speechless watching this guy destroy stage 99 Proxima, who is a total nightmare. She is a total freaking pain in the freaking rear, right? She sucks. And this did take me a few tries. I did die a couple times. I'm not going to lie. But he's damn near unkillable thanks to that passive. And something that's also nice is Proxima's frenzy buff isn't going to happen. Like if she does her frenzy buff, it doesn't matter because Pierce ignores it. It ignores it. It doesn't care. This is the thing that's better about Pierce versus all defense down. It just ignores all of the world boss's defenses. All of them. Look at this crap. Just plowing through it. We're going to get that 5, the 4. Now see, right now I am hitting the 5 because it is getting my charge up a lot faster on that tier 3. And again, notice whenever if that proc triggers on that tier 3, before he slashes his sword down, I don't hit that second skill. But if he slashes that sword down, I hurry up and hit that second skill. And I actually did a run earlier where I hit the second skill first, and then I went into the tier 3, and that did insane damage as well too. That was just bonkers. So I am very curious to see what he's going to do with the rage when I get him all leveled up. He's going to be so insane. And there we were down to the 1 HP. But guess what? For 6 seconds, we have no worries, no problem. And then we just get that 75% recovery, which is crazy. Null's a beast. He is exactly what he should be. He plays and feels like the god of the symbiotes. He is the closest thing to a perfect PvE character that you could ever ask for. He's just bonkos, guys. I honestly, I'm running out of adjectives to describe this guy. Look at this. And we did this in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, a hair over. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Stage 99, 120% proc. I do have a fully awakened Power Bang Real set that does bump up your stats, but no Urus. With 55% physical attack on my cards. This dude is unfreaking real, and I wanted to get this video out for you guys. I know you've seen some other videos, but maybe you haven't seen anything like this. So let me know how your progression is going for him, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.